I can hear you.
Come on, I don't want to start it. Yeah. Great. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're happy to have David Murillo with us today, and he's going to be introduced by a good friend of his, Jeff Blackett. Jeff?
All right, hi everybody. We're excited to have David here today. He is a Honduran student at UMass. He just got his master's from UMass this past September, and he's working toward his PhD now. And he's going to be talking to us today about his some of his master's research working on coffee production in Honduras. Take it away, David.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation. I decided to present some results from my research in Honduras. This project is a part of a biggest project that include also pollination component and a social component. In this part I will present today is only the birth control component. My advisor is David King from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. So, okay. For a start, we need to know a little about coffee production. The principal area from coffee crops are the tropic and subtropics. And as you know, in the tropics are the highest biodiversity. So the principal in high elevation. In high elevation, we had human in tropical forests. There are a lot of migratory birds, for example, a lot of mammals and other important species for conservation. This is the reason why we need to found some alternative for the coffee production. Traditional, we had three system coffee. The first will be sun coffee. Sun coffee is a monocrop. As you see the picture, only is coffee plants. This picture was taken in Honduras. The farmer in this case had about 100 hectares or more, only with sun coffee. This is totally bad for the environment because they change all the natural habitat. The second option is shade coffee. The difference is that shade coffee hit the canopy structure sometimes because in other times the farmer could replace this tree for exotic species. But all the understory is changed for coffee plants. In our alternative was introduced about 10 years ago in Costa Rica and now in Honduras is the integrated open canopy. The integrated open canopy consists in coffee plantation that is bordered by forest in a relation 1-to-1 or less. We can have more forest than coffee, but not more coffee than forest to be a IOC systems. From IOC systems, the coffee the produced from this IOC system is called cafe solar. JT in this case had some cafe solar with him. You can try. So our study site is in Honduras. Honduras is a country from Central America. This part is Honduras. United States is over here in the north. In Honduras, we had in a coffee region in Joro. This is Honduras. This is study site. So in this area, we had 3 communities: Tuberana, Las Flores, and La Vegas. And also we had pine oak mixed forest in brownleaf forest. They are native habitat, a part of the coffee system. So in 2018 and 2019, we make a survey from birds using point counts in 15 meters radian in 10 minutes observation to, to register other species in coffee system in forest. Okay, in the case the IOC, because IOC had two parts, the forest component and coffee component, we surveyed 15 point in IOC forest and 50 point in IOC coffee. Also, we had shade coffee in sun coffee. So the other component that we surveyed in 2022 and 2023 was the effect of the berry, or the coffee, the beer, sorry, in coffee berry borer. For this experiment, we select one plant for size, for coffee size. This plant will be the enclosed. The enclosed is a plant that is enclosed by this box. This is a box that we make that they cover the plant with a black net. It's difficult to see the black net, but already all this is a net. This net excludes the birds to take the coffee berry border from the plants. If we had other plants, there will be the control. The control is a normal coffee plant. They don't have any net around them. The birds can take the coffee berry border from these plants. So this experiment only excludes birds. Other animals like reptiles, insects can take insect from the plants, but no birds. So the result from, sorry. Also, for every plant that enclosed in the control, we take 15 bins, 5 from the lower part, 5 from the middle, and 5 from the highest. Every bin was open in the laboratory to check how many egg, large, poop in adults there are for plants. So this is the measure of damage of the coffee berry bored by plants. Our results about the ringnecks of birds. In general, the only difference was between sun coffee and the other types of coffee, like IOC and shade coffee and forest. Between forest, IOC, and shade coffee, there are no difference. There are no difference. The ring is the same. Only sun coffee has the lowest ringness. For resident species, it's same pattern. No difference between forest, IOC, and shade. It's the same. Only sun coffee has the lowest ringness for resident species. For Nearctic neotropical migrants, there are the species that migrate from North America to the neotropic. It's very similar. There are no difference between IOC and shade coffee. You can see the plot. In sun coffee has the lowest ringness or migratory species. But if we take in consideration the forest-dependent species, the are species that need forest to survive, we had difference. Forest and IOC coffee, the forest part has the more ringness for the forest-dependent species compared with shade and IOC coffee. In sun coffee present the lowest ringness on forest-dependent species. Okay, if we see some example about abundance of some migratory species like Neotropical varia, we didn't see any difference between shade and IOC coffee, neither with forest. It's the same, the abundance. The only sun coffee present the lowest abundance from these migratory species. This pattern is similar for other migratory species. But if we see some example about forest-dependent species, for example, Mioneboris miniatus is a resident, is a forest-dependent species. We found that this species is more abundant in forest and IOC forest sites than in coffee systems. Also, a similar pattern for other forest-dependent species, Mionectes oleagineus, that is more abundant in forest and IOC forest than coffee systems. Our results are similar to the register for Chandler in 2015, who conduct a study in Costa Rica with mist nets, that they found that IOC coffee support forest-dependent species richness similar to primary and secondary forest. But they found that this IOC coffee system had more richness than shade coffee in forest-dependent species. The difference between our study and Chandler's study is the methodology. We use point counts, in Chandler use mist net, but the results are similar. So, in conclusion for this part, yes, IOC coffee support also migratory species, resident species, but especially for forest-dependent species. That is important because apart that the shade coffee they support migratory species, but shade coffee no support forest-dependent species, we can implement IOC coffee as tool for conservation bills in special forest-dependent species. About the other experiment, that was the I separate this slide by question. For example, our first question was, do the birds affect the coffee berry borer? So this result is coming from the experiment. In the start of the season, we had the control plants versus the enclosed plants. Control plants is plants when the birds can access to the insect. In enclosed plants, the birds can access to the insect, the plant. So in the start of the season, you can see there are any difference between control versus enclosed. But in the end of the season, we see clearly a difference is significant, that the control has less damage than the enclosed plant. So this result answer the question, and yes, the birds affect the insect or coffee berry borer in the control plant had less damage than enclosed. So this is a good result because we are validate that the birds had an effect in the coffee berry borer. The next question is, do the birds affect the coffee berry borer by coffee systems? We had different results by sun, shade, and IOC coffee. In the start of the season, they are no different. This plot is separated by IOC, no difference. Sun coffee this is not difference because there are a lot variation, is not difference. In shade is not difference. This is in the start of the season. In the end of the season, we can see IOC coffee produce a difference. Control is the damage is lowest in the control IOC than in the close. In the sound, you can see it's lower, but this result is not significant because this is a high variation. You can see a high variation. It's similar for shade coffee. There is not a significant result. The only system that is significant is for IOC coffee. So for this question, yes, the birds produce different effect by coffee system. In this case, only IOC coffee is the system that the birds reduce the damage in significance. So next question is, do the insectivorous bird affect the coffee berry borer? For this, we make a model to predict the damage of coffee by the insectivorous bird richness. In this case, in between more birds insectivorous there are in the site, the damage of coffee berry borer is negative. You can see how decrease the damage of coffee berry borer by the insectivorous big richness increase. In the last question that is very important for us is how much dollars the bears save by control coffee berry borer. For answer this question, first we need to know what is the percentage that the bears reduce the damage. For onwards, to get this data, we use our model from the difference in control versus enclosed. If this difference is 52.29% is the damage that the bird reduced by control the coffee berry borer. It's very similar to the result getting for CARM in 2013. They predict that birds reduce the 50%. It's very similar. Our next data is to know, okay, how much infestation are by coffee berry borers. We get this data from literature, and they say the damage or the infestation is between 5 to 6%. Also, we need to know, okay, in Honduras, in Yoro especially, what is the yield of the coffee? The yield in Yoro is 16.36 quintal of coffee by hectares. Also, we need to know how much dollar a farmer receives by 1 quintal. In this case, actually is 172 approximately the price of the coffee by quintal. So with all this data, we can get how much money the birds produce by control coffee berry borer. The answer is between 59 to $75 by hectare by year. If this result is similar also with the result from CAR 2013, they estimate from 75 to 310 hectare by year. Dollars by hectare by year. Okay, these values can have variation. This will depend from the infestation of coffee berry borer. Between more infestation there are, more dollars the bears will save to the farmer. So in the story from CAR, to get 310 hectare dollar by hectare is because they get a site with a lot of infestation. We are using this radius of infestation from 5 to 6 because we had this result. But between more infestation of the coffee berry borer, more dollar the beer will save to the farmers. Thank you so much for hearing my presentation. If you had any question, feel free to comment.
Yeah, very good. If anybody has any questions online, you can go and put them in the chat. And anybody here in the room have any questions? Yes, Rachel.
I missed the first part on the difference between the forest and the integrated open canopy. Like I think it was about spacing, but can we go over that again?
Yeah, you got that, David, how to describe I think that would be your control, right, was the forest. And then the open canopy, the integrated open canopy was where you were actually growing coffee. Is that what I got right?
Yeah, so do you just want to go over what IOC coffee is again, David?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have somebody to talk about it.
It's really good.
Okay. Integrated Open Canopy, IOC, is a custom system, coffee system consists in coffee plantation bordered by native forest in a relation 1-to-1. And we can have more forest than coffee, yes, but we cannot have more coffee than forest. But if the forest had to be native forest in this case.
Yeah, I think it's like the native and the ratio that you have to have,
Yeah.
that qualifies it.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. And it's very obvious that either shade grown or IOC is much better than sun grown in lots of ways.
Does
You
the
know.
does the sun-grown coffee account for the majority of coffee that is produced?
Good question.
You think?
You can repeat the question, sorry.
Whenever we're talking coffee production in Honduras, is it mostly sun-grown coffee or what system?
That is a nice question because in Honduras, the Matos coffee is only coffee. They not separate between sun coffee versus shade coffee, for example. It's only coffee. But in Europe, in my observation in Europe, some farmers is changed from shade coffee to sun coffee. They make a lot of production in sun coffee. Like I showed you in the picture, in this picture, there's a 100 or more only by sun coffee. The tendency is the farmers change from shade coffee to sun coffee. But we don't have a data how many sun coffee there are versus how many shade coffee there are. We don't have that data.
Okay, yeah,
So most of the coffee that we see in our grocery stores and stuff, it's actually sun-grown coffee from Central South America or even
which is why I like to try to get the Birdwatchers blends or shade grown coffee whenever we're able to find it.
exactly.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
all right, very good, David. Any other questions? I don't see
I
anything.
had one more, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
I saw like there was IOCC, I think, and then IOCF, like what's the difference?
Difference. Do you hear that, David?
What is the question, sorry?
The
So-
difference between IOCF and IOCP.
So the IOCC is the coffee portion, so the portion that's the coffee where the coffee plants are, and the IOCF is the native hardwood forest. So that whenever they did a survey, they did a survey in the coffee portion, and then they did a survey in the forest
Oh,
portion.
thank you.
Yep,
Yeah, that's good, that explains that. Very good. All right, and I do have a question, hang on. Yeah, good, Joe Mullins says a great talk, David, and nice to see you. Sun coffee looks like it leads to a lot of erosion. Definitely so, yeah. All right. We're good. I thank you very much, David, for your talk, and we look forward when you're back up in Massachusetts again to meet you in person.
Okay,
So,
thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
all right, thank you. Yeah.